Are Warplock Jezzails any good? This unit was a piece of Cathay, stolen from Cathay before we had Cathay in a Total War Warhammer game. It is a good unit, but it is also an expensive unit, so we must ask, is it worth the cost? Let's take a peek. Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider donating Warpstone through my Ko-Fi page, which hopefully will get more use as I get back into streaming. Thanks! Jezzails weigh in at 32 models in Ultra and cost 1200 to recruit in campaign with 300 upkeep default. It's less in multi. Okay. Health is 3936, which all the weapon teams seem to hover around regardless of model count. Armor is 70, and the unit has silver grade shields blocking 55% of small arms fire, one of the game's few uses of shields that reminds me of the medieval pavis. This is like the crane gunners for Cathay. Leadership is an even 50, speed is 42, and keep that in mind because this is pretty fast in the big picture. You get to reposition for your long-range volleys. The melee attack stats are basically identical to the Globadiers and Warpfire Throwers, so they're miserable and of little import. Charge bonus is 2, and mass is 150. Don't put them in melee. Ammunition starts out at 22 volleys, a healthy amount. Range is 275 by default, but Skaven are one of the factions that can increase range. Missile damage is officially listed as 30, and it is at this point we see the contact effect Shield Breaker, which strips 24% off the block chance of enemy units struck. This isn't simply for the Jezzails, but for all fire that can be blocked by shields, something that is especially relevant to Rattling guns. Well, it's going to be relevant to anything within range, which could be various types of slingers. You do you. Missile base damage is 6. Don't worry, armor piercing damage is 30. You get 1 shot per volley, reload time of 12, and get a total accuracy rating of 20, which is completely standard. Calibration distance is 150, beyond which the shots will be extra inaccurate. Calibration area is 0.6 meters, so under ideal conditions, the drift of the shot is somewhere under 2 feet from where you were aiming. That is insanely accurate, especially considering we're talking about Skaven. Before we move on, be aware that Jezzails count as infantry and have the standard strength in numbers and scurry away mechanics which affect speed. In the Lord Redline skills, Blastmaster is what we want, giving you a maximum of plus 20% ammunition and 8% reload time reduction for Warplock Jezzails. Warp Smart gives Rect 7 Vets plus 5 leadership, plus 12% missile strength, and 15% spell resistance, which are good things for you. In the tech tree, Enormous Caches reduces upkeep a little and jacks up ammunition by 25%, while Ensure Product Quality jacks up range 10% and missile strength 10%, and Reject Poor Recruits as plus 2 to recruit rec. The increases to ammo, range, and missile strength are especially impactful. Naturally, you want Warlock engineers in the house for passive benefits and active buffs, but in a lot of situations you won't even need them. You just prefer to have the option of reducing your reload time an extra amount when an angry dragon is flying at you. You've already learned all the basics of using the unit. I mentioned dragons for a reason. This is a wonderful unit for clearing the skies. Beyond that, it's reliable and long-range damage, but that's exactly why it benefits so much from extra ammo. It'll tend to run out. On the other hand, the damage is so accurate and heavily armor-piercing that elite cavalry, such as Rakesguard or Silver Helms with shields, stand to be utterly crushed by Jezzails. Being one of the Skaven's best options for Lord sniping, for that matter, one of the best options in the entire game, is a good thing too, but let's not lose sight of the fact that the total damage dished out is far below what a Rattling gunner can dish out. The Jezzails excel at selective damage. The Rattlings excel at volume of damage. So the bigger the target, the faster they burn those big hit points down to the ground. So the trick is target selection. Eliminate the enemy that can annoy you the most, the one that has the biggest balance of power value, then whatever's left, which isn't easy for your remaining military to handle. So basically hunt spellcasters, artillery, elite ranged units, and elite infantry and cavalry when the opportunity permits. Hopefully by the time you run out of ammunition, the enemy has run out of high value targets. Take care, and have fun firing anti-material rifles in Warhammer Fantasy. It's like something out of isekai manga.